In life, when you feel stuck, it's because it's a combination of bad habits and not knowing what to do, not having a direction or a certain plan. See, a lot of people think procrastination is laziness. Now, laziness can be a small part of that, but procrastination generally and overall comes from not having a plan, not having a direction, not knowing what to do. And you got to take it all the way back, right? From the moment you're born and to when you're growing up and all the years are going by, you're being put in a school system, society, and your environment around you is kind of dictating what you know and what you learn, right? And from the get-go, you're put in a capitalist system where you are going to be a worker. They're basically manufacturing workers from a young age, right? And even Rockefeller, I believe the creator of education, said he literally created education to create more workers for himself, because once you finish education, you go and get a graduate job and the world sees that as a good path. So all you know is how to go to a job and how to come home. That's all you know. You've been manufactured that way. You are a robot. Now, if you want to reverse engineer and not feel stuck in life and feel like you're making progress, you have to get rid of all of that gunk and all of that societal construct that they've put in your mind and social media. And you also got to get rid of the bad habits in your life. So you got to think to yourself, if your life is something or at a place where you don't want it to be, why is that? You have to kind of think really hard and put your ideas and put your plan and put your daily routine on the table, metaphorically, in front of yourself. And you got to think, you go to work 8 hours a day, or you go and study 8 hours a day, whatever, and you come home and you just smoke weed, do drugs, talk to women, you might go gym for 1 or 2 hours, and then you come home and play games, right? And ask yourself this, with that kind of life, are you going to feel like you're moving and making progress? Probably not. Probably not. Humans yearn for purpose. Humans yearn for direction. You need to start setting yourself goals that are realistic to hit. For example, for me personally, I go gym, I go work, I'm ambitious, I've got a plan in life, I know what I want to achieve. Those are the good things, right? The bad things, talking to unnecessary women, 5, 6, 7 women at a time, right? Takes up too much time. You come home and you might be drinking, or you might be playing too many games, right? And you got to extrapolate the good and keep it there and enhance it, and you got to extrapolate the bad and throw it away slowly. A lot of people need to remember, and a lot of people think that you can just set these massive goals and go straight for them. You cannot. You have to be realistic, and the best way to start is to remove bad habits. Now, a millionaire was asked, those guys on YouTube that go around and saying, excuse me, what do you do for a living, when they see rich, successful people? And this young guy, he was in a G-Wagon, a Brabus G-Wagon, which is a car that's worth a lot of money. And the guy said, if I was back in my 20s, right, the main thing that I would focus on is not about money, is not about success, it's about changing my lifestyle, changing my habits.
Rock a whip this nice.
Hey man, it ain't what we do, it's what we don't. We don't drink, smoke, be fucking off our time. We're coaches, right? We just show people the way to go. I'm a game coach, he a game coach. It's not about what you do, it's about what you don't. You taking back steps every single day in your life. Most people, they want to change their life, this is what they do. They want to do this, they want to add this, they want to add that. It's a removal process. Stop drinking, stop smoking, stop doing all the vices, stop skipping the gym, stop eating bad. You stop doing all those things, your life is automatically going to elevate first. Then once you get to baseline, that's when you start to add other things, but you got to get your habits right first. One other thing, you got to cut the vices. But one thing that I tell you is, if I could go back in time, I wouldn't have chased the money first. What I would have done was spent my time comfortable at my mama's house. I would have spent all my time developing myself, developing my habits, developing my consistency, working in the gym, reading books, developing a skill. I would have did all that first. Then whatever I tried to accomplish after that would have worked, because I'd have been the right man, instead of trying to chase money and not work on myself first. Yeah.
Once you stick to your good habits, once you go to the gym, once you come back and you're journaling and you're fucking working out and you're envisioning and you're taking little baby steps to getting your plan underway, and you know what you want to do or how to make money or how to bring that goal closer to yourself, that accumulates confidence in your mind. That enables momentum in your mind. And once that happens, your body figures out ways, figures out problems quicker than you think. Okay, no amount of motivational books, no amount of doom scrolling on Instagram looking at motivational quotes is going to come and save you. They are a good stepping stone to getting yourself on the right path, but ultimately you need to go back to stripping away the bad habits. Okay, And then you have to ask yourself, I don't know if you guys watched the previous video of mine on the channel, my first video, of what working as a, what it feels like to work in the corporate world. Yeah, you have to think of it this way. You need to really think deeply of what you want in life. Okay, if you really want to be a doctor, then you know you have to go to university, study, become a fellow, and then you end up having your doctorate. You become a consultant, you might have a PhD, right? Now, if you don't know what you want to do in life, for me personally, I wanted freedom. And it took me a while to understand that I wanted freedom. I hated the system. Since 16 years old, when I worked in my first retail job for Sainsbury's, I hated my job. When I was walking after lunch back up to my sixth form, I saw a McLaren P1 on the side of a road. It's a car that's easily worth 100 grand, I think. And I thought to myself, it's cliche, but it's true. And I said to my friend as well, I said, bro, this fucking guy has got so much money that he could spend someone's 2-3 yearly salary on a car that he can crash at any moment as well. And he's probably got 3-4 other cars like it, and he's probably got a massive house. How does he do this? Like, that's what made me start thinking what I wanted. I wanted freedom, and I want the money because the money will give you access to freedom. Now that I knew that, once I knew that I needed freedom and how to make money for myself and leverage money, I then started thinking, okay, how do I do this? And online business then came into my life, right? You see the trail, the path that it triggers in your mind. Once you start building good habits, you gain this momentum and you start solving questions in your mind that have been lingering there and torturing you for a long period of time. Otherwise, you're just going to feel like you're drifting in space. You're not heading in a direction. There's no rocket boosters pushing you. And once you build on those good habits, once you stick to them and you feel like you're doing something good in your life, you build up an appetite to do even better. And that is the most important fucking thing. You start small, you tick off these little success boxes that you're doing, and your appetite for success becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. You can't just jump straight into a marathon without training for it. You have to start doing your little jogs, you have to start doing your 5Ks and your 10Ks and your anaerobic and aerobic exercises, and then you can start thinking about finishing the marathon for your personal best time. It's the same thing with success. You have to build up that momentum, build up by doing them good habits, and then thinking deeply about what you want in your life, and then you create a plan for yourself. This is what I want, this is how I get it, and you do that by researching online. You can ask ChatGPT to create a plan for you. Technology and resources have become more available than ever, and you go from there. Now, there's a famous quote from Lao Tzu: "A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step." Think about it. The people that climb Everest, right? They don't stand at the bottom of fucking Everest and just look at the peak and think, you know what, I'm never going to be able to achieve this. They start by literally walking up it or climbing up it. And before you know it, after a long, not even long, but after a worthy journey, you're at the peak. And that's exactly how life is. You cannot expect to just sit there at the bottom without taking a single step and think that you are going to achieve. If you stand at the end of a swimming pool, right, and you look at the end of the swimming pool and you think to yourself, right, I need to get to that other side. You can't just do that by standing there. You have to dive in and start fucking swimming. William James, the father of American psychology or philosopher, he said, "Nothing is so fatiguing as the eternal hanging on of an uncompleted task." You know, finishing small thing clears mental space and it builds momentum according to James. And it's the most important thing that I've ever found out. You have to get back to the basics and start accomplishing little things in your life. You wake up, you make your bed, you wash your hands in your face, you sit down for 10 minutes without your phone and you just think, or you sit in your garden, get some sun, get some vitamin D, and you just think. You're gonna feel instantly happier. You've already made your bed, you've already washed your hands in your face, you might go and get a good breakfast. That's 3 successful things you've already knocked out the way. You're setting yourself up for a successful day. Successful days build into weeks, months, and years. On the other side of that coin, if you're waking up and you're sitting in your bed for an hour on your phone and you're slouching around and you go and have a beer, look at that person and look at the person that I just described. Which one is going to be more successful? You tell me. You know, we are what we repeatedly do, and that was the words of Aristotle. Excellence then is not an act, but it's a habit. This frames small and consistent actions as the root of long-term excellence and momentum. These are the greats that are talking to you, right? And even Friedrich Nietzsche Nietzsche, he said, "He who cannot obey himself will be commanded. That is the nature of living creatures. And by conquering small internal battles like completing minor tasks, you train yourself to act with power and direction." Like, the greats are speaking to you. They are literally telling you what the key to success is. And a lot of people need to sit down and look at this shit and listen to what I'm telling you. And that's how you get the success. That's how you build direction in your life. You start with, once again, I have to reinforce this. You start with one thing. One, what do I want in my life? You sit down and you think about this until you fucking figure it out. If you don't know what you want to do, but you hate the system, then the chances are you want freedom, and the money accesses the freedom. Secondly, the habits. Take away the bad habits from your life. We all know what our bad habits are, and extrapolate the good. And if you don't know what a good and bad habit is, you can go into YouTube and you can search it up, or I can make a separate video on what are good habits and what are bad habits. Or you can go on ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT, what are the good habits in my life and the bad habits, and tell your daily routine to ChatGPT, and it will literally spit back out a flawless routine for you to follow.